All right.
Let's knock these pins.
Let's paint
something
this brush.
bowling related.
Something bowling related.
Let's get this strike. Let's get this turkey.
Jeez.
We're getting a turkey.
I'm gonna throw out my shoulder.
I'm gonna hurt my foot in those shoes.
Oh man. All right. Let's polish this ball. Hello everybody and welcome to the Let's Get Lost podcast. I'm feeling deep.
Deep.
My voice.
Yeah, you have been deep
Yeah.
the past couple days.
That's what she said. How you doing, Danielle?
I'm good.
Yeah? Saturday.
We got Lindsay.
Lindsay is here. Special guest star.
Woo.
Say hi, Lindsay.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. So we're going bowling.
Yeah, we're going bowling tonight.
Hanging
our
out with the
sister
family.
Came down with her husband and our nephew.
My second sister. I guess she'd be my first.
Your oldest sister.
Yeah, my eldest, the elder.
She would be your first sister. That is correct.
So going into Corona World, my favorite.
I think it'll be okay because it's almost nicer now because you have to be so much farther away from people.
It's like get away.
So I don't know how they do it, but I would assume it's probably like
Every other.
Every other. So then it's literally just you and the people that you like.
Well,
Whereas
that's
before
cool.
You're constantly like, get off
Rubbing
my
elbows.
ball, that's mine.
I wonder if they had to separate the balls by 6 feet. So people,
Oh,
For grabbing
to
'em?
grab them, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, then there's probably somebody like sanitizing them every
you think
single.
who's got the ball washing job?
I don't know.
Because that's probably a job now.
Oh, no doubt.
Every single ball needs to be.
Or they made a thing so when it comes through, it like goes through a sanitation thing.
Oh, but that's the amount of money. What a genius idea, though.
TM.
Oh,
Is
man.
that what you do?
A
Don't take it.
automatic ball washer for bowling alleys.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be great. All you would incorporate it into the
It'd be wet.
ball
every time you
return.
grab
No,
it.
that would be part of the system. It wouldn't be a wet ball. It'd be something, but there's a way, I'm telling you.
Huh.
There's a way to make it. And then the last step would be a nice little polish. And then, out it goes. Ready to go. Your ball
Yeah.
would be clean every single time you used it. That'd be
Mhm.
amazing.
There are golf ball washers on.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Those are funny. So something like that.
Yeah.
So when the ball returns to you, it's clean.
All right, $1 million idea. You heard it today.
Don't take it.
Don't take it. Or do take it. Just give us money.
Yeah, keep us apart.
This idea is for sale.
I think it'll be fun. I haven't gone bowling in a long time.
Oh, I haven't either.
Last time I went bowling was when we went with my work. We all went.
Oh, that's fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Little work trip?
Yep.
Why'd you go?
We did work meetings every now and then since we're such a close little group of people, and our bosses are awesome.
Exclusive club.
They take us out to go do, like, one time we did an escape room.
Oh, that's
which was
fun.
a lot of fun. And then we all went to well, not all of us, but the ones I could went to the summit and we did bowling. And then we played laser tag, which was so much fun. I got incredibly competitive.
Oh, boy.
And I'm not much of a sprinter, but I was sprinting the whole entire time.
How'd you do it?
I wanted to win.
Yeah.
Determination.
And that one's fun, too, because it's got 2 levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can really get into it.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
One time I had this kid following me around, and he just was, like, walking and shoot me in the chest. I don't remember what I did, but I might have pushed him over. I'm like, get out of here,
That's
man.
what I did to one of my coworkers because, well, at the time she wasn't working there. She was just a girlfriend of one of the employees, and he had brought her with, and she wasn't really sure what to do. And I was just every time I ran into her, I was just like ding 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 because she was just like, I
What
don't know
do I do? Oh,
fun.
that's fun.
Mhm.
No, I don't know if we'll do, because I don't know if laser tag would be open.
Yeah, I don't know.
COVID world's weird.
Mhm.
I haven't ventured far into it, so this will be a...
I haven't either. But I do know that a lot of people are liking certain things better
the
because
distance.
you're not up each other's butts.
Yeah. Small town living.
Yeah.
We forget what we used to have, because that's the way it used to be. There used to be, like, space.
Mhm.
Everything wasn't as crammed in to as small a space as possible to maximize the
Mhm.
profit or the tables, or it's just different.
I'm curious to see how it's going to go.
I mean, it'll be fine. I'm sure once we get to the area, we just take off the mask
Yeah.
and then
Well,
just
because we
bowl.
looked into going to that Top Golf thing.
Yeah.
And that's basically how it was, is you wear your mask in and out, and anytime you leave your little
Bubble.
bubble, yeah.
Your
when
force field zone.
When you're in your force field, you can take it off.
So funny. Jeez. But that's all right. It'll be, it's fine. I've gone in a little bit, so it's not like it's the first time I've been out this year.
I think it's like the first time I've actually gone and done an activity.
Something social.
Yeah, something other than
A
food,
restaurant.
groceries.
Oh yeah,
things like that.
that's true. That's true for me too. Then.
Mm-hmm.
Oi.
We'll see.
No, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah. So what else is going on? Snowing.
It's snowing and it's cold. And
That's funny. Our heads were right in the
Yeah,
same
my
spot.
feet are freezing.
Good.
Yeah, getting a new furnace.
Oh, is that official? Did Dad make a selection?
Yeah, it comes. They're gonna install it on the 14th, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
You'll actually get some heat.
Yeah, I haven't. There's been a little bit of heat. It kicks on when it wants to.
Oh, jeez.
It's been so cold back here. It's insane.
You know what's weird is the house furnace went out the same week that my duplex furnace went out.
Weird.
What are the chances? Seems targeted. Who's out to get us, Danielle?
Who's sabotaging our furnaces?
Speaking of crazy shit going on, Capitol got invaded.
Yeah, it did.
What'd you think? Hey, so here, funny story about that. So the day it happened, me and Danielle were I was in the big house, hanging out with Danielle in her living room.
Talking about computers and doing stuff with the computer.
Yeah,
Keep
working
in
on the
mind.
computer, fixing things, whatever, right? So Lindsay wasn't here. She was with her mom, and we use this system called Discord to keep us all connected. It's just like, what would you compare it to? Kind of like a Facebook, but only...
Yeah, like a group messenger or
There you
something
go.
like that.
So anyway, I see just out of the corner of my eye, one of the notifications pops up on the screen of the computer. And I read it, and it basically says, we just missed it. Capitol building got overrun. Shots fired, more or less.
This is a message from Lindsay
Yeah.
in the Discord.
From Lindsay to the Discord. And I was like, what? Wait, what did that say? And I just jumped up from where I was sitting and ran all the way back to my house
To get on the
To get on
computer.
the computer to look up what was going on.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting in here on the computer, like, where the hell did he just go? And then I was like, he went to his house to go look it up. And I was like,
Yeah.
that dumbass. I'm literally typing it in on the computer as I'm thinking about this right now.
And here in my brain, I just am going, all right, Civil War, let's go.
Yeah.
Because I read it as if the building, it was like almost a hostile takeover kind of thing.
Like the movie The White House.
Yeah,
Or whatever it's
I thought
called.
shit was going down, and I needed to know if it was time to go. And when I finally saw it and kind of read and saw what was going on, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is just another riot.
Yeah.
Welcome, good stuff. We got more violence in 2021. Huzzah!" And then I calmed down. I came back in, and that's when
I was just laughing. So
Yeah.
I was like, did you figure out what you needed to figure out as I'm watching the video on the computer?
How did you find?
So I had no idea what to search because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know there was a big thing going on there. I do not follow any of that stuff. I should, but I don't. And
You
so
got time, don't
I
worry.
was like, what do I look up? So I typed in
Went to Google.
went into Google, and before this though, I typed in something and I can't remember what it was. I was like, Capital something, and it didn't give me nothing popped up, and I was like, that's, you would think you just type in capital and, it would be like,
bring you
boom,
there.
here it is. So then I couldn't find it, and I literally just typed in news into Google, NEWS, and I hit enter, and it popped up.
You know, so I love that. So here's why I love it, and here's why it's so scary to me. So I love it because you worked through it and eventually figured out a way
Yeah.
to get there, right?
Yeah.
Even if it was kind of a silly way, whatever. You got you there and it worked. News. Here's what scares me to death, though, is that a lot of people are probably very similar in that, and that means all you have to do is take away the internet, and then no one would know what to do.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. I know that's not you because you have a very practical application to how you were raised. But there's a lot of people who don't. They don't have a fallback if all of
Yeah.
a sudden the one source of information they have goes away.
Well, if the internet went away, you wouldn't know what was happening until you got in the newspaper.
Yeah. Or like the bat signal went out, but it's true. Before the
Yeah, that's
internet, it
true.
would have been phone calls or the radio, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And
Oh,
again,
I
that's
forget about
all
the radio.
that's all controlled by somebody,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So the only true independent source of information is ham radios.
ham?
HAM, ham radios.
What is that?
It is a way, so it's a line of sight, kind of, way for people to communicate from point to point.
Okay.
And it's super old technology. Anybody can use it. It's very simple, and the government hates it. They hate it because it's the only unregulated form of communication left in the world. Any other way we have to talk to each other, short of face-to-face and ham radio, is completely regulated by a governing body of some sort.
So what is it though? Is it just a radio?
It's a radio, like, yo, breaker, breaker,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's just a different type of radio. There's different frequencies, different antennas, and they're, so it's a hobby, really. Like, ham radio is seen as a hobby now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But again, it's
I've
the
never
last.
even heard of it.
So when you see in a movie where somebody is broadcasting like a conspiracy theory radio broadcast from their van, they're using ham radios.
Okay.
They're like, they won't shut me down, man, because like they can't unless they physically stop the transmission. It's transmitted, and whoever's listening will pick it up. Yeah, it's pretty cool technology.
So you can just go buy a ham radio?
More or less. Back in the Radio Shack days, if anybody remembers Radio Shack.
I do.
Yeah, that's where that's where a lot of those people would buy that stuff. Yeah, but you could buy a little transceiver and play with the frequencies. Because what they try to do is they see how far they can reach. Like, that's part of the hobby.
Oh, okay.
It's like, hey, where are you? And they're trying to communicate to each other.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm over in Japan. They're like, holy shit, I'm over in Pakistan. I don't know. I couldn't think of anywhere else other than that. I was watching some Japanese news earlier, so I got Japan
That's
on my
weird.
brain.
Was it in English?
Most of it was, yeah.
What?
I'd like to
so
watch.
in Japan,
Japan's struggling right now. They're worried.
English news?
Yeah, they have English news from Japan. It's world news.
Our news isn't
It's all
in
over the
different
world.
languages.
Oh yeah, it is. All over the world.
So do they change it for those other people to see it?
they broadcast in English on a international channel.
Yeah, but they're
News-
speaking English.
Yeah.
See, I'm saying the people who are watching it in Japan aren't listening to it in Japanese. They're listening to it in English.
No, they're listening to it in Japanese.
How?
Captions.
Okay, see, that's different.
Well, and there's some that are simul-dubbed too. So there's just a little bit of delay, and they just do it.
Huh.
Yeah. It's so basically the teleprompter. So Walter Cronkite's on at 6 p.m., whatever. He's a big guy in the news world. Well, back in the day, I guess. And then it gets transmitted over to Japan, and it's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes behind. Mr. Japanese is sitting over there, Japanese Walter Cronkite, and then they're translating it, and he's reading it as it goes.
Okay. But so that's still what I said was right, though, because you said you were watching Japanese news, and some of it was English.
Well, yeah, because some of the stuff I watched wasn't. I was just watching it for the video content.
Oh, so were you like reading subtitles?
Usually I'm not. Sometimes I do. But usually I'll go off. I just go down spiderwebs,
Do you
man.
understand what they're saying in Japanese?
No, I don't speak Japanese. But I can...
I'm confused.
So it's a source material. So I'll listen to a news article in English, or I'll read it,
Okay.
right? Or not in a news article, but I'll listen to a news report in English, which will spawn me to go, what happened? And then I'll look to their local news, which typically is not in English.
Yeah.
But I can find the video or the pictures.
You can find the English.
Yeah,
version.
because I don't just take news on face value. Like, sure, you have a lot of money and a beautiful suit. I don't care about that. You took your news from a small source somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's how news typically
That's why I don't
works.
watch the news.
It's all bullshit. So I check my sources. Like, I verify stuff I watch, and sometimes that means I look at stuff that's not in English. It just is
You're
the
like,
way
oh,
it is.
yeah, I know what they're saying.
Like, Japan's about to go into another huge lockdown because of their COVID numbers.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like America's not the only one having a second surge, but it takes time. It just takes a lot of time and makes you crazy. So, I don't know.
So here we are.
Yeah. Unless you really want an opinion, I wouldn't recommend having one. So yeah, that was my morning.
Japanese news.
Japanese news.
Did you just type in Japanese news?
No, I went to world news, and then I
Oh.
found one. So one thing that's crazy is they're they're really blaming the prime minister. Wait, is he a prime minister? The honcho of Japan. The big news was if he doesn't get the numbers under control, he's going to step down. And that's like a big deal over there.
Okay.
Like having leadership come and go quickly is a sign of like a culture failure, and they take it really serious. So it's not the drama like it is here.
Right.
Like if Trump, like the idea of impeaching that would make the whole country sit and watch because it's so huge.
That's
and
what we were
momentous.
talking about the other day when I was saying, imagine being from a different country that has different leadership looking at us and the way that they fight each other and all this stuff. They're probably like, what the hell?
Yeah. Because that happens in more traditional democracies like the EU. Like they talk shit too. That's not any different. But when there's more of like emperors and leaders, like those types of leaders, they think we're a bunch of weak monkeys, man.
I bet.
They're like, look at these idiots over here.
Yeah.
Like they have no honor, they have no integrity, they just talk shit to each other. Jimmy Fallon just got booed on a British talk show.
For what?
Just for being American. The whole place booed him. Yeah.
So he went on the show?
It was through a video, but they booed him. He made a joke about being American and they booed. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Yeah, man, it's a wild time to be an American.
I could see it though. Like looking at us, we are some of the most spoiled brats in the world.
Yeah.
Compared to like the way that they live, they're probably like telling like I don't know. I would see from my point of view, I'd be like, those people need to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Like, look at how we're living and look at how you guys are living.
I don't know why they look so much. Like, I look at world news because the world talks about us a lot. I don't understand if you lived in the UK why you would care.
Probably because it's such big news. Like, America is a huge...
We are a big deal.
Just like, yeah. Like, when you think of the world, America is definitely one of the things that you think of. We're the loudest, I would say.
So you know that Rick and Morty show?
Yeah.
There's a joke on there where the president is talking to an alien race, and he basically says, I'm the president of the United States, which is basically the world, but you didn't hear me say that.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean, it used to be
America
a lot more
puts
true.
their nose in everything. Like, they're just a part of everything.
Yeah, we're
so
asked
I feel
to be
like
a part of everything, too.
It's kind of hard for them not to see us. Because their news talks about us. They listen to our music, our entertainment.
Well, when me and Lindsay were over in the UK... that's all anybody would ask us about. Second they found out we were American. So that Trump, huh?
Yeah.
Every
Even
time.
when we were in Ireland, we heard somebody say that.
Yep. And I'm just like, yeah, man,
They're
I
like,
don't know.
how do you like your president? And we're like, fine, I guess.
Not enough to talk to you about it.
Yeah. But then even in Ireland, everywhere we went, they're playing Ed Sheeran. I mean, which isn't American. He's not American, but...
They're playing his famous American songs.
Yeah, exactly.
that are famous in America.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's, and the weird part too is they have the older cultures, right? So they're more entrenched in their ways. Do you think it's just because of how shiny America is?
Yeah.
Just like the, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
There's
like
so
I said,
much
we're
happening.
the loudest. It's almost impossible not to see us. It's almost impossible to not know about
That's true, 'cause
Americans
the
and what's happening and the newest music and the newest clothes because it's literally everywhere.
And I was going to say something, but in my own brain, I argued it away. But what I was going to say was, well, we make a lot in terms of entertainment.
Yeah.
And people love entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's we're just the mass generator of social media websites. Like Facebook came from here. McDonald's came, like all these things that are just huge and global that everybody wants have come from here. I just punched the microphone.
Yeah.
It's too bad the arrogance came with it though, huh? Of America, like rightfully so. We deserve some clout to be like, I mean, look what we've done for the world, you guys. We deserve to be a little boisterous, but also not to the point of like toxicity almost. You know, like we're so good that other people are bad. And that's stupid because that idea kind of molded into what's going on today.
I would see it the other way around.
How so?
Like you said, we're so good. Wait, what did you say? What was
a lot of stuff.
No, just that last part. You said like we're so good that
other people are bad.
Yeah.
Like
If
that's how we
anything,
see it.
I think we would be considered bad.
No,
compared
in
to the other
reality,
people.
1,000%. I'm saying based off of our personality. Like
Oh.
that's what we're thinking as Americans.
Yeah.
We're so good. You
Yeah.
guys suck in comparison.
Yeah.
That's the toxic part. And then the reality is we're just that dickhead.
Yeah. Really.
Dickhead who may be talented, but no one wants to play with him.
Yep.
Like, you know, you could be the best quarterback in the world. If nobody wants you on their team,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
Mm.
Same with America. Like, we're the best country, rightfully so, but we're losing that title quickly by just kind of forgetting
Mm-hmm.
that other places are pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
Just different.
Like just because you're great at something doesn't mean that your personality is great. You could be great at a task itself, but if you're a shitty person, nobody's gonna care that you're good at that task.
Yeah.
They'll be
very
like,
true.
screw that dude.
Yeah,
I don't want
fuck
to work
that
with
dude.
you. So you know what I just thought of?
What'd you think of?
It's just I thought back to the Capitol thing, and did you see that picture of that dude wearing that
Yeah.
thing, and he's like standing in the thing, and then this is a great story.
Yeah, great. Really. So there was a guy who was wearing a buffalo headdress.
Thank you.
He wasn't wearing a shirt.
His face was painted, I think.
And his face was painted, yes.
So did you see that the Simpsons did that same thing?
Simpsons did it.
Why can they predict everything?
I don't know. Because they say it's because he's a time traveler.
The guy who makes the Simpsons?
Yeah.
I think he is. Because he literally, that show, a lot of things that have happened in this world were already done in that show.
Have you gone down that rabbit hole?
I've seen a few.
There's a bunch. But here's the thing. So there's a law of numbers that applies here.
Okay.
So the Simpsons work in the realm of imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to, but also live in the realm of reality. So what they're essentially trying to do is come up with things that have not happened because they want to be original,
Mm-hmm.
but could possibly happen because they want to like have it be believable.
Right.
If you do that enough, you're likely to hit the nail on the head a couple times. And he's very good at it. One thing that we screw up as humans, though, is we like to find patterns where there's not. So I'd have to see the picture. You know, I'd have to see, you know, what they say Simpsons did it. Because that dude could have been inspired by the Simpsons. Like,
It's
what came
true.
first? Chicken or the egg, right?
Yeah.
And if the Simpsons episode, that guy watched it and there was some type of... Well, first of all, that dude is most likely an Antifa member. And there's all kinds of evidence to support it. So let's just say this psycho motherfucker saw that as some type of like battle cry or, you know, a way to look badass. And so he brought that onto his personality
I guess I didn't think of it
rather
that
than
way.
the Simpsons predicted it.
But like, what about the whole Trump thing and everything? How Trump was on the show? Did you see like that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
When,
did...
like, when they're like holding the orb.
I don't know. I'd have to look at it.
Well, yeah, I need specifics.
Mm.
But again, it's one, it's law of numbers. Two, it's potential inspiration. You
It's
know,
crazy. He's a
it's
time traveler.
Three, he's a time traveler.
It's like how you call Caesar Milan a wizard.
he is. He's a dog wizard. He's a dog wizard monster.
Yeah. So on our little handy dandy notebook over here, I wrote down church.
Church. Take me to church.
Yeah.
Because we were watching Sister Act music.
Yeah.
And that's, first of all, a great show. Movie. I've watched that movie a lot, and I know most of the songs. And we were watching, which one was it, Lindsay? No, the song.
Hail, Holy Queen.
Hail, Holy Queen. So the only reason I know that song is because of Sister Act. Well, there's a bunch of sass that gets dropped about midway through.
Yeah.
And that the premise of the story is that's the church starts to turn around. People start coming in off the street because they make it more modern, make it more inviting for people, and just make it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and Danielle got to talking
About our church experiences.
about our church experiences. So
Mhm.
Danielle said you have a good story.
Well, I was just gonna. Well, I don't really remember what led us to that conversation, but I didn't go to church.
Well, you were
all
talking
that
about
much.
modernizing. Well, because in the military. So I went to the
Yeah.
military when I was in boot camp. Basic training. We could go to church on Sunday. Well, it was either you went to church or you stayed in the dorm, and worked. So I went to church and it was fun. Like they made it fun. It was a great break. We sang some songs. We listened to some dude talk and it was really good. So that's kind of what brought it up was that it's that church experience of they modernize. Well, so it was black church is what we're dancing around.
Yeah, like
The different. What is it called? Because it's evangelical church, not black church. More traditionally known as black church because it's mostly black people who go to it. It's nothing racist about it, for God's sakes. So anyway, those evangelical churches are they're
loud
amazing. Loud music, dancing. It's just
hallelujah.
Hallelujah, say the Lord. Here we go. And I love it. But that is different than like Catholic church being fun.
Yeah.
Because it's completely different churches. So, and that's what I was talking about. And then you're like, oh, that reminds me of something.
Well, I was just going to say that I mostly only have like good experiences with church, like not as in, so like the Catholic church where it's very
boring.
It's
so boring.
But like, so, cause when I was growing up, that's kind of when you guys all stopped going to church.
Yeah, you were the Antichrist.
Yeah, I didn't have to go, so I went with Casey.
You cried every time I went in there. Started smoking, lit on fire once.
I would go with my best friend every now and then. They went to it starts with an L. Lutheran, maybe?
Lutheran.
Something like that?
Protestant, I was wrong.
Protestant, not evangelical.
Oh. Whatever the L church is.
Lutheran.
I don't think that's it, though.
Latter-day Saints.
Nope. Anyways, but hers was always like happy, like loud, exciting music. You'd play games, all this fun stuff. And then one time I went to church with our cousin, and same thing, happy music, all this stuff. Well, then the one and only time I ever experienced Catholic church is when our grandma passed away, and because it was a Catholic funeral. And I was like, I have no idea what's going on.
It's so formal.
I've never stood and sat and kneeled so many times in my life.
Catholic calisthenics.
And then we went to where you eat the bread or the cracker and all that stuff. And I had no idea like what you were supposed to do. And they had said something like, if you were Catholic or something, then you come up and eat the cracker. And I was like, I just got in line. Like I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, we getting in line now?
So I'm just standing in line and they're like doing stuff when I walk up there, and I was like, I just took the cracker and ate it.
You got any cheese whiz, Father?
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening at all. But my friend Allie at the time was there, and she went to a Catholic school and everything, so she knew what she was doing, and I was just like,
wow. Well, at least you just kind of admitted it. Like,
yeah,
give me that
I
cracker.
had no idea what was happening.
So you didn't think to watch people that were ahead of you to maybe get some cliff notes?
No. Because I didn't really know what the line was
Emilio
for.
Padre. You didn't really know what the line was for. But
No.
you'd be damned if you were left out.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that was my church experiences. Not very many at all.
Huh. Well.
What are your church experiences?
I mean, mostly good, I suppose. The best church experience I ever had was with Joe. That son of a bitch tricked me.
Oh, no.
I don't remember what we were doing, but all of a sudden we ended up at church on Ash Wednesday, or whatever one they put it on your forehead.
Yeah.
So I'm in this. So not only is it standing room only, because we're an opening day of Jesus Day. Okay? Opening day of Lent. And so it's so full. And they're doing the sermon twice, once in English, once in Spanish, because of the people. But whatever. Spanish. And it was taking forever. So not only am I just staring at Joe, I'm like, you bastard. This is the second time you've done this to me. I'll tell you about the first one next. And so then all of a sudden, because I didn't know what was coming, and now I'm just watching, and I see this old man just
Oh, God.
licking his finger and putting Christ right on your forehead. And I'm just like, oh, gosh. I'm like, I just am so mad at Joe because I know it's just I'm here now. Mm-hmm. This is now my life. And that son of a bitch. So anyway, old man's coming. I'm listening and I, whatever, say what I'm supposed to say. He hits me on it and then we leave. And I just go, Joe, you lied to me, Joe.
He just wiped his forehead.
Man, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why we went.
Well,
He was always trying to just cure my sins, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
If you're Catholic, you're required to go. So I imagine he didn't want to go by himself, but still felt obligated to go.
Well, and then the other time Joe got me with the Lord is he went to this like culty little church for a while, man. So it wasn't like a whole church. It was just a group of old men in a basement. And there was this old lady who was married to this old man. And I remember I didn't know any of the songs. So we were there. Everything was kind of normal. We're eating some sandwiches and drinking some weird Kool-Aid. Got a little sleepy. But then we started our chants, right? And the songs, I didn't know any of them. But here's the best part. So I'm reading in the book, and I had no problem just kind of being like,
Yeah.
Jesus, here we come. But then... But I look over at Joe, and he's just basically moving his mouth. He's like, and I start laughing, and I could not stop laughing. And here's the best part. Not only am I belly laughing to the point of tears, they are still singing the whole time I'm laughing. And I'm doing everything I can to cover my mouth, because we're just sitting in like a living room in a circle. The dead goat in the middle. It was crazy, man. But I just remember this old woman sitting across the circle, just staring at me. That boy's got a demon in him. And I just remember that lady went up to Joe's mom and said something to her about me. That was so funny. It was so funny.
Was it like a
It just was like a Bible study
yeah,
kind of
that's
deal.
what I was thinking of.
But I was young. It was a house I'd never been to before.
I did a Bible study once with Cody, and I do not read the Bible. I don't really know all that much about it, all that stuff. And so we would sit in a circle. Same thing. No
goat in the middle.
No goat.
No goat.
No, just all reading it. And like, I actually really like to read out loud, so I would read it no problem.
Yeah.
But then the guy who was running it would then ask questions, and everybody had answers. Like, oh, this is what I think. And I'm like, I honestly don't know.
I have no opinion.
I don't know what I just read. I just read it. And so every time he would be like, so he would ask a question, I would just be like, nope. And like put the book on, like, I swear, don't ask me.
I'm not here for you, buddy. I'm here for this guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't
Puts
really...
you right on the spot.
Well, and also, let me just absorb the Lord. I don't need to talk about him.
Well, and if I had something to say, I would say it.
I raise my hand.
I'm not in school.
No. Bible school, Bible study.
Study, yeah.
It's school to them.
It was fun, though, I would say.
I mean, I laughed
If I
my
would
ass
do it
off.
again, probably not. But it was a nice experience.
Yeah.
I would say he had a super cute dog.
God.
I really just went for the dog.
Yeah. Dog and the Lord.
Dog and the Lord.
No Q&A. There was one time where I was trying to court this young woman. And she, I don't know, she was religious. And they were doing this like lock-in thing in the church. Like
lock-in?
Yeah, they put all the kids together in the dark and they close the door and chain it closed and you can't go out until the morning. It's lock-in.
Is that a real thing?
It's 100% real thing.
For what?
I didn't make it that far. So anyway, I show up again. I feel a little misinformed. They just said, yeah, come over. We're just hanging out. There's a pool table. It turns out her boyfriend was there.
Oh,
it was awesome.
Good.
So anyway, so I show up and it's in Loveland. So it was at one of these community center churches, whatever. I couldn't tell you where.
Going right down the road.
Maybe. But we go there and I show up. She's already there. I don't know anybody. And I just kind of walk into church. It's dark. I'm alone. But I had a mission. And that mission was her. And again, at the time, I didn't know she had a boyfriend. So I'm still innocent at this point. Hail Mary, full of grace. So I go through the door, and it's just super bright. Like the kind of angelic bright you would expect a church to be.
Yeah.
Where you almost feel
I
uncomfortable.
thought they
You're
were
so
usually
exposed.
dark.
Dingy. Not when it's dark outside. The lights were on.
Okay.
Now the basement, on the other hand, I don't really recall. My memory really starts at the basement. The brightness to the basement. They gave me something in between. But I remember going down into this wood paneled basement because that's where she was.
Never.
I can't remember what her name was, but I asked for her and I was directed to the dungeon. So I go down there and there's sure is a pool table. There's a punch bowl and just a bunch of awkward teenagers. And I would say, how old was probably 16, 17, something around there. And I go down there, and then there she is with her boyfriend, who I feel knew I was coming. It was weird, man. It was
they were
awkward.
waiting for you.
It was so awkward.
They wanted
the whole
to try
time.
something new.
Yeah, she was the lure, man. They wanted to try something new. They wanted to feel the savior. He had to sin before he could be saved.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
There
That's
you go.
what it was.
That's a good title. So I remember, there's not really a good end to this story, but I remember it being really awkward, but I also was very determined.
Did you stay there all night?
No, God, no. Okay, that's right. So it was just kind of weird while we were socializing. And then the time came basically where they said, all right, if you're staying, and he kind of was looking right at me. She's like, if you're staying, now's your last chance to leave. And I'm like, I'm out of here. Because I think that's when they were about to start all the recruiting. So they really needed me to like get out. Because I think they knew it wasn't happening.
For you?
Yeah.
Why do they lock you in a basement?
I told you I didn't find out. I didn't stay long enough to feel the spirit.
I feel like Lindsay has the answer.
The only lock-in, well, two lock-ins I was a part of. One was during confirmation. So it was supposed to be like fun because it was in the basement of our school, but
A bunch of young, horny teenagers all locked in a basement together.
And they just separated us by like one of those sliding wooden panels, that rooms have separators or whatever.
Yeah.
Boys over here, girls over here. So we could just fit more like activities basically into, so they just, it was a lock. It was a sleepover in the basement of the school. And then it was just religious activities.
Oh,
and,
God.
They made it fun, and there were presentations and sermons. And stuff.
Religious activities require you to be locked in a basement.
I wouldn't do it. I didn't even go on school field trips.
God, you're such a nerd. I loved
Literally
field trips.
didn't. I went on 2, I think, and that was it.
That's it?
Yep. I didn't like it. I didn't like the bus. I had a really bad experience with a bus, and I don't ever want to go back.
Okay, first of all, your bus experience is bullshit.
When you are a child,
No way.
that is traumatic as shit.
I was relentlessly bullied on the bus.
Oh my God. I thought I was never going home.
His first name was Blake. I don't remember what his last name was. He used to pick on me constantly. He called me fat boy. And the whole time we rode the bus together, he picked on me. And then so much to the point where Brandy got on the bus and like beat him up.
Good.
Yeah. So
That's what big sisters are for.
I lived through all that. And then you're about to tell us
Yeah.
what happened to you.
Yeah, it was traumatic as hell. So let's just start off by saying I'm the baby of the
Yeah.
family, and I have always
In case you didn't know.
had a very safe bubble around my siblings and my parents. So nothing ever harmed me, ever.
Except for me.
Except for Mark.
Yeah.
The very first time I decided to ride the bus so I got there just fine, no problem. Coming home, but so actually here's the whole story. I went and stopped at the bus stop with a friend of mine, and she lived down the road a little bit. So I wasn't at my actual bus stop. I was at her bus stop. So we rode the bus together, rode back. She got dropped off first because she lived closer. And then we were going towards our house. And since no kids got picked up there,
Oh, makes sense.
he drove right past it. And Mom and Dad are standing at the road. I can see them. And there's me looking out the window, like no shit, hands on the window, like terrified child face in the window as mom
Oh
and
my
dad go
God.
by, and I'm going up the hill on the bus away from my parents.
So then, what happened
Then
next?
he stopped at the next stop, which was up the hill. Because that's where another kid got
Yeah.
picked up that morning. And dad hauls ass on his four-wheeler up. And this is illegal. Like, four-wheelers in Colorado on main roads are not allowed.
Yeah.
But dad didn't give a shit because he saw his little blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby girl crying in the window. Hauls ass up the hill on his four-wheeler. And I am bawling my eyes out. And never again did I ride the bus. I rode it a few times with Casey, but I had to be with somebody.
That's so funny.
And so for the rest of my school days until I could drive, mom took me to school.
Yep, every single day. Meanwhile, me and Brandy literally rode the bus from day one till we were done.
I will forever remember that experience. It was so traumatic. It was horrible. I honestly didn't think I was going back home. I thought it was going to have to take me back to the school, or I was going to end up like in the bus lot.
The bus lot. They would just lock you in the bus till tomorrow,
Yeah.
till the next
I couldn't
day.
tell you how old I was when that happened, but it was scary.
Ooh, I need a break. I need Tums.
Oh no, Tom's. Tom break.
All right.
Lindsay, what?
Sorry, I had to take a Tum break. Damn near had a heart attack.
Literally.
Freaking heartburn was killing me, man.
What'd you eat?
Nothing. I haven't eaten today.
Oh.
No, I had a bowl of cereal. A small one, though.
And a PB&J.
And I had a half a PB&J.
No, full PB&J.
Sus. Seems sus. No, I don't know. I've been having heartburn. I got sick this morning. Yeah. So we can end it on that.
Fun. No, you have one more bus story to
I did
tell.
have a bus story. Well, I don't know. It's kind of like a bus, what my bus experience was. So the way the bus worked was there was kind of like the hierarchy. So the further you were in the back, the more cooler you were, right?
Okay.
So the sought after seat was the small seat to the, would have been on the left. So the driver's side of the emergency door.
Okay.
It was just big enough for the king, right? So was what it was about. So you had to earn the right to be there. And the way I got there was by being funny. So I made people laugh, and slowly but surely, I just moved back to the back seat. Before you know it, I was the king standing up, because you could stand up in that seat. It was really easy to. And the bus driver loved me because I used to make her laugh all the time. And I would lead sing-alongs, and everybody would sing. I was always this showman, right? So we would get people singing and stuff, and she would just be dying. And then she'd get on the microphone, or she'd be like, Mark, you need to sit down. So I'd like sit down for a second. Then I'd just stand back up. And it was this game we played. It was just fun. She was such a cool bus driver. She had big, curly brown hair. Softest lips in the world.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. No, she was a really nice lady. Yeah, I had a wonderful bus experience.
I
Even with the
don't.
bullying. I was bullied relentlessly. And it made me funny, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to sing a lot. It was great. I was king of that bus. It was so much fun. Getting off on other people's bus stops and stuff. It was great. And she'd be like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just mixing it up." Yeah.
Keeping things
Yeah,
interesting.
keeping things interesting.
I always felt like that the buses were going to tip over, so I
Yeah.
was always scared on them.
It's weird.
Because you
You're
don't have seatbelts.
Scared of a lot of things. And isn't that funny? You know how
I
I know
am scared of a lot of things.
traffic laws are bullshit is because seatbelts save lives except for children on a bus.
Yeah, it's better to let them bounce around freely.
I don't know.
Like
It's
bouncy balls.
you can't ticket the city because of school bus. So
Why do you think they didn't put seatbelts?
it costs too much money.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Keep voting, folks. But I don't know. I feel like we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started. Then we had a middle. And then we wrapped it up in the end.
There was church somewhere in there. Whoopi Gold. No, we actually didn't talk
we didn't even
about
talk.
her.
Well, we talked about Sister Act.
We didn't say her name. Whoopi Gold.
No, Whoopi G.
We talked about The Simpsons.
Future
and
Time.
Japanese news.
Mark not realizing that there was a computer right in front of him.
Yeah, and just crazy times, man. Capitol Hill.
Huh? Church, buses.
You know, the old razzmatazz. We've officially gotten lost.
Yeah, let's go bowling, yeah?
Gobble, gobble.
We gonna get a turkey.
We can get a turkey.
Emma's
All right,
ready
y'all.
for it to be over.
Yeah, and Emma's ready for it to be over too. So, as always,
Peace out, Girl Scout.
meow, bye. Yup.
Meow.